The silver and black are smoking crack. They're 0-3. Fucking Raider week. Hater, raid, whatever. I'm drinking it today. Raider week in Las Vegas. The 2-1 Broncos taking on the 0-3 Raiders. No matter what, they'll be still 2 games under 500 if they win this game. But you know what? A win's a win, whatever what. It's a division game. I'm excited. Both fan bases are excited, heated. Raiders really desperate. The Broncos hopefully win one or our next 2 to stay over 500. I would love 2 or 2, but whatever. Try to go 2 or 2, but yeah, I would take 1 of 2 the next 2, but because we got a Thursday night game against the Colts. But we got to go with the Raiders. We're going to Las Vegas. We're 0-2 there. I think we turn the fucking tide and get the W. Straight up, I think we'll win. It's kind of generous because I keep saying we're going into 20s, but fuck it. I'm going into 20s, 23-14. I think I'm being a little bit harsh, but maybe they get like I don't know. I think the defense gets like a turnover. I don't think, maybe the offense just scores 13 points and then the defense gets a touchdown, like a pick 6 or something. I think we get a couple turnovers off Carr. Both teams have been really inconsistent, except we got a couple W's, but you know it's because of our defense. The defense carried 2 games. You know, the first game the defense wasn't that good, but again they held Seattle to under 20 points. But the Raiders have almost scored more than us the last 2 games, but they've blown up giant lead against the Cardinals and against Titans. They almost came back, the Raiders. So I'm not going to say it's a blowout. 23-14 is not really a blowout. I think it'll be a little close, but oh well. Here's the injury reports. ESPN, PJ Locke's questionable. He got that forced fumble at the end to win us the game. Aaron Patrick's questionable. We need him on special teams. Caden Stern's questionable. We need a safety. Quan Williams is questionable. And Melvin Gordon's questionable. I think all of them will play. I don't know. And then Bartel Nicholas is questionable. Colton Miller, that's a big one, is questionable. He'll probably play. Forrest Marone is questionable. Second tight end. I think the tight end, maybe both, maybe him and Waller will get a touchdown. I don't know. Trayvon Moting, the safety, is questionable. And Perriman's questionable. So, yeah. I think this will be a close game because Carr he plays good against us even if we win. The last time we won was, 2019, the last game of the season when Drew Lock won it and the failed 2-point conversion. And then ironically the next year they swept us with a 2-point conversion. Gruden's last game against the Broncos. But yeah, a familiar face and Josh McDaniels coming up. I think this will be a close game. We got Darren Waller I think will have a good game, 100 yards, a touchdown I think. Devontae Adams, I think we'll limit him. He's still elite, man. It's just, I don't know. He needs to get going for the Raiders. Hopefully not this week, but I think eventually he'll get going when it's too late and when the Raiders are out of it. But he's a great receiver. Josh Jacobs had a good week last week. I don't know if Renfro's going to be back, probably. Hopefully for more fumbles, but their D-line's good, secondary's trash. The D-line we may have to establish the run game because their D-line's good with Crosby in the group. Chandler Jones, I know he hasn't done anything. For the first 3 games, but maybe he gets a couple sacks on his O-line. I'm not gonna fucking lie. He's a great player, great pass rusher, but the last few games has been stagnant. Maybe he gets a little bit, again, a rivalry game. Maybe he gets a W against us. Well, not a W in a win column, but like a W, he gets a couple sacks. But, we got to watch out for Chandler Jones. The Raiders, these last 3 games have been making me happy, especially game week 2. I felt so bad about winning against the Texans that, the Raiders choked and it was so happy. And if we get the W against the Raiders, it'll be beautiful. We'll be 3-1. The Raiders will be 0-4. The season will be over. And Josh McDaniels' job will probably be on the damn line. And that's good for Raider fans because, he's not a good coach, man. They should have kept Versace. and hire a good offensive coordinator. But I don't know. It's up to Carr to win it for the Raiders. I think he's a good quarterback. He's just, pretty mid, in my opinion. He's good but mid. But he likes having 400-yard games against us. So that could be an issue. But I got the defense holding up. Maybe they go for it a couple times in the red zone and they don't convert. That's why I got the score being 23-14. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna take this team. I'm never gonna take any team lightly now. I'm not, because I have that fucking stupid fear that this, look what happened with Seattle. I didn't take him lightly and we still lost. So this game, can't take him lightly. We got to get our first road win of the year. We won all our games at home so far. We're 2-1, 0-1 on the road. Granted, that was a hostile environment in Seattle, but this one's, I think it'll be less hostile. I know Raider fans, they have a great fan base, but it's Vegas. It's not Oakland. If it's Oakland, then it's different. It's Vegas, 50-50. A lot of fans are going to be there. The Bronco fans showing up from all over the mountain region. They'll be there. I think it'll be a kind of a neutral environment. I think Russ will throw a couple touchdowns, maybe one to Sutton finally, and then one to some random tight end, maybe Albert O. So that's 14 points there. And then the defense gets what? Defense gets a pick six. And they go for two some reason. I don't know why. Just to seal the deal, I guess. That's just my made up. And for the Raiders, I think Devontae Adams gets a touchdown, and I think Darren Waller definitely, because, our linebacking, even though they had a good game, Jonas Griffith had a fumble, Josie Jewell had a sack and a fumble recovery. Jonas Griffith had an interception, Josie Jewell had a sack and a fumble recovery. They're still not good at coverage, so I think Darren Waller's going to have a good game, and Foster Marone may have a random good game too. But I still think we can win this game because I think the defense will hold. I think Carr will make too many mistakes, and maybe we get a couple turnovers in the red zone or stops. I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist. I can't. I'm not a what are they called? I don't know. Fortune teller, whatever. I can't look into the future. I'm not Aristotle. But that's why I believe. That's just my prediction. I think we'll get the W. Move the 3-1 and then move on to Indianapolis, which that'll be a challenge too. The secondary. If we can't pick apart the secondary, it's Russ has some problems, man. We need to get going against these teams. The Raiders are not a bad team. They have a good roster, but you got to get going against any team. Get 20 points. Don't look embarrassing. We won these two last games, but we looked embarrassing, man. The penalties, we had less penalties last game because probably Jerry Rosberg helped out. I like the hire already. He's a veteran. And the special teams was good, too. He probably helped the special teams, too. So good job, Jerry. Jerry Rosberg should be the head coach. I'm kidding. But Jerry Rosberg's helping out. I like it. And we need to score in the red zone. We had a red zone touchdown, Melvin Gordon. Yay. I want Javonte to get more involved. The running game, if they can get the running game going, they'll win, I think. Get Javonte going, they'll win against that D-line. If you get it going against that D-line, I think we win the game, man. Because I like Crosby. I like their D-line, Crosby's a beast, he probably will have a sack, too. I think the Raiders will have 3 sacks. We'll get 4, maybe, in the column. Maybe we get 2 turnovers. Raiders get 1. It's a division game, so it can go either way. And I just feel like we can win this game. Last game, I was down because how we played against a terrible team in the Texans. But the Niners, their roster is good. They're a good team. They're well coached. And somehow their offense was shittier than ours, and our defense played good, and that's how we won. So that's less. Still doesn't feel like a win, but less shitty than losing to the beating the Texans barely. And I think we'll get our 20 points. We'll get a W against the Raiders. Move on, and the Raiders will. You got the Chiefs next week, so that's another bad one. So hopefully we get the W and the Raiders season. And, hopefully it's going to be a good game. in Allegiant. And yeah, to all the Raider fans, good luck and go Broncos. That's it. Peace.